with the way the Rivage architecture works, utilizing your custom fader banks is a great way to make your show workflow align perfectly with how you like to work. And with version 4, the number of custom fader banks per bay was increased from 12 to 30.
That's huge.
Yeah, a ton of additional flexibility. Talk a little bit about how you set up those custom fader banks and how you use them.
Sure, so on the PM10 and 7, which came out first, of course, when you go to custom fader banks, there's basically just a 1 and a 2 button times these 6 layers, A through F. When we came out with version 4 was the timing of the PM3 and the PM5 console, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons, so we're 5 times deeper, basically. And so yeah, it's fader management, right? Like you said. So whether it's just a couple channels you're using or a volunteer and you want to empty the entire desk except for those 3 channels so they can't screw it up, or it's you just trying to get through a really high channel count show, it's the only way to fly, in my opinion. So it's easy to set up, and so if we go into setup and to custom fader banks. So here on the top left, we see left, center, right. There's 3 different sections. In the masters, we can control, like a monitor guide will typically make that ears and wedges, that kind of thing. But it could be, here's a DCA for my band and here's my MC. Why not have 2 input money channels at front of house or something? So it's all customizables. We're working on the center base, so C1 through 5 are those 5 buttons. And we'll show you in a minute how we do that on the 7 and the 10 now. And then A through F is here, and we could touch on these to name them. You can see I've added some names and they apply down here. When set by select is on, which is the default, whatever is highlighted in white, if I select the channel someplace, it's going to assign it. And I could just sit here and change layers, and I could put in DCAs and mixed buses and whatnot, and it just automatically moves across. I could go, hey, I want to put in 3 channels of RF here, or whatever it might be. So it's very, very fast. You can fix it, or you can create it and or make changes to it in seconds. You can insert things and move things around or clear it out. It's a dangerous page to live on too.
Yeah, set by select can be really dangerous. If you're on that page and they're trying to select a channel, you could...
Exactly. How many times you hose yourself where you're here and somebody calls you and says, hey, how's the level on my bass guitar look? You go, no, let me look, and you select it and you just changed whatever that was.
Right, except for me, it's like I'm thinking it doesn't work and I hit select 8 times and I've got it now a whole custom
That's right.
bank of just bass.
That's exactly what it would do. But if you turn set by select off, then it doesn't matter. I can select all day long and it won't program it. I have to open it up and do it this way. So it's a helpful way if you have to live on it, but I think it's a real good page just to get out of so that you can't burn yourself. And earlier I made a home key shortcut, so if I know I'm coming back to it, that's how I get back quickly. So yeah, so that's a great fader management tool that's critical when you have high channel count, lower fader count, but I've used it on weddings, on big consoles where I just needed a couple mics or had a volunteer covering for me and wanted to just get everything else off the surface, so they made it harder for them to make a mistake.
So accessing these additional custom fader banks is slightly different on the PM7 and the PM10. Talk a little bit about how you access them on those surfaces.
Yeah, the button layout's a little different. So on the 7 and the 10, there's custom 1 and custom 2 buttons. There's not 5 of them dedicated for that. So to get to that higher number of custom fader banks, you press and hold custom 1 and custom 2 at the same time. Then these 5 other buttons become those 5 layers. And that gets you to that higher number of custom fader banks. And then when you want to get back out to your root layer, you just press custom 1 and custom 2, and press and hold, and you're back out.
Right.